Hi friends, welcome back to the Saffron Box. I'm Yamini Sharma and today going ahead with the House Lord series. This is my 10th video in this series. I've already made 9 videos covering all the 9 House Lords, and this video shall cover the 10th House Lord. So from your ascendant, from your Janm Lagna, check the 10th house. It is a Kendra Bhava, right? Check the 10th house and check the planet which rules the Rashi falling over there in the 10th house. So that is the planet which I am referring to. Thereafter, see where that planet is placed, which house is it placed in your birth chart. So I'll talk about what the 10th house stands for, and obviously whatever the 10th house stands for, the 10th house lord also stands for the same things. It also connects towards the same significations. And thereafter, what happens, what is the impact of the 10th house lord in various houses. So all the 12 bhavas will also be covered. You'll find timestamps also which I put in all my videos so that you can go to the relevant part of the video, right? So when we look at the 10th house is a karma sthan. It is a kendra bhava. So uh, whatever has to be done, whatever the lagna has to do, as in whatever you have to do, the 10th house, the 10th lord has to support you in doing so, right? It is also an upchay bhav. Upchay bhav means a growth house. So out of the 3, 6, 10, 11 houses, this is the house which is a upchay bhav as well as a kendra bhava. So it becomes a very important house, and the planet which is ruling the 10th house also becomes a very important planet in your horoscope after the Lagnesh. So if I have to rank as to what I would pay attention to first, I will look at the Lagnesh, I look at the sun, moon, and then the 10th lord. The 10th house, since it rules over our karma, it talks about what kind of efforts are we finally going to do in our lives. What is the direction of our life, right? What kind of efforts are we ready to do? What kind of name, fame, recognition are we going to get in the profession in which we finally go? Are we going to get popular? Are we going to get name, fame? What are we going to achieve in our lives? The 10th house also rules over your career, rules over the choice of your professions. Whenever we see your profession, choice of profession, how is your profession, what is your outlook towards it, we see the 10th house. The 10th house also is part of the Earth Trikona. So the 2, 6, 10, three houses are part of the Earth Trikona. So the 10th house has the Eartha element also over there. And by default, when we see the sign of Capricorn or Makar Rashi falls in the 10th house in the Kalpurush horoscope. And who rules the 10th house? Shani rules, Saturn rules the 10th house in the Kalpurush Kundali. So this place becomes very important. This house becomes very important. It tells you whether you are going to be employed or you're going to be an entrepreneur, how independently can you work, what is your level of maturity. 10th house also shows the activity in your brain. How do you think? How mature are you? How do you think? How do you put your thoughts into action? And what is your personality? How does it appear to everybody? How influential are you? And what do you have to influence others? Is your money the key? Is your personality the key? Do you have knowledge or gyan to give to people? Do you have money to offer? Do you have a strong, robust personality which comes out? So, your 10th house talks about all these things, your influence, your authority. And then, wherever the 10th Lord goes, it has the same thing. 10th house, a 10th house Lord will tell you what kind of karmas are you generating. What kind of efforts? Where? In which direction? Towards what pursuits? So your major area, your major area of influence, your profession, all these things are majorly driven by the 10th house and the 10th lord, of course. Of course, there are other karkas like Sun, Saturn, Jupiter. There's so many karkas of the 10th house as well. But here in this video, we are going stepwise. We are going to basically touch upon the 10th house lord per se, right? So I'll talk about the 10th lord's placement in various houses. I'll start with the first house. So when the 10th house lord comes to the first house, it is posited in the first house or the lagna in your horoscope. What does it show? It shows that you are somebody who's self-made. So all your karmas, all your efforts, your mind, your mental power, everything has gone into your personality. So this shows somebody who is pretty independent, pretty self-made, and is looking towards constant improvement. That again would depend on other factors, on the influence on the of the lagnesh, the effect on the lagna and other things. But when we just see the 10th house lord placement, it shows somebody who's very karm pradhan, so to say, whose priority is to do work, who's always busy, shows a very hardworking person. These people do not sit idle because they know that wherever, if they have to grow, they have to work on themselves. They will have to physically start doing things, only then things will move around them. Remember, the 10th house is a upche bhav. So the 10th lord is also a swami of a upche bhava. So they know that they have to grow, they have to become better. And if this energy is free of any malefic affliction, then this is a wonderful placement to have, because from the 10th house, the 10th lord has also gone to a kendra bhava, right? So you are able to reap the benefits of whatever efforts you yourself put in your life. Name and fame is very important to this person. Self recognition, they would look at achieving things, so that they can respect themselves. So the focus is the self first, and then thereafter they will think about others. How are others perceiving them? What kind of name or fame have they achieved? So self recognition, making a mark in the world is very important. So whatever sphere of life they are in, not everybody is going to be a pastry figure. Not everybody is going to be, a historical figure, legendary figure. But whichever level they are on, whichever community, whichever level, whichever income groups they are in, they are people who stand out, because people value them for being very hardworking. They know their beans well, they know they can trust this person to deliver whatever he has committed, right? So a fantastic placement to have, gives a lot of space for you to have your independent thinking. Of course, a lot depends on other things, a lot depends on strength of the lagna. So if this placement is working in your favor and the Lagnesh is also strong, this can be a person who really knows how to push through projects. He can be put into very difficult projects, difficult pursuits also, and will come out as a winner. So these kind of things can play out with the 10th house lord in the Lagna. Then the second placement, 10th lord goes to the second house. When the 10th lord goes to the second house, it's gone from the fifth house to the fifth house from itself. So it has gone to a trine from itself, and it has gone to another artha bhava. So it is good for your income generation. Your mind can work very well towards wealth generation, towards managing your assets, towards finance. Your profession could also be related to the field of finance, You could be in working with banks, financial institutions, etc. I've also seen that this is a very common combination in people who are working in the hospitality sector, primarily in restaurants, who are earning out of food joints, restaurant, hotels, etc. So food business also works very well with them. They could be dealing with food items as well. For some, I've also seen that you'll find such combinations in the education industry as well, education sector, or professions where they have to speak a lot. So if other combinations are also working out, they could be teachers, they could be counselors, they could be orators, speakers, motivational speakers. These kind of combinations are also seen. This also shows that your family is very goal oriented, your family is very hardworking. So the values, remember, second house is also the house of family values, the sanskaras which you get, the moral values, the family values which are instilled in you right from the time you start understanding things. Right? So all these things are seen from the second house. Shows that your parents, your family members have taught you the value of hard work, the value of constant efforts to improve yourself. Over a period of time, your speech can also improve. You can get better and better at oratory, being a better speaker over a period of time. This is a good profession because your profession and your wealth both are getting connected. So your profession could bring in huge amounts of wealth also to you, provided the other dhan yogas are also there in your chart. The dhan yogas are also pretty prominent in your chart. Then the 10th lord in the third house. When the 10th lord goes to the third house, it has made a connection with another upche bhava, right? Third house is also an upche bhava. Third house is the house of efforts, the house of your motivation, your desires are born here, your subconscious mind is seen from the third house. So here when the 10th lord goes to the third house, it shows that you are ready to put in a lot of efforts, a lot of hard work in your profession. You want to succeed, but this placement is a little challenging because from the 10th house, the third house is 6th. So there's a 6-8 relationship here which gets formed. So which shows that, yeah, a lot of competition might come your way, a lot of hurdles might come your way, but you're also somebody who can push through a lot of things and get on with your profession. So it could also pose challenges in settling in your profession, choosing the profession of your choice could also become a problem sometimes. Some delay can be seen, some challenges can be seen. That will again depend on the nature of the planets which are getting connected, right? Also the signs, etc. So other things will come in. Your profession could involve a lot of communication. You could be in the fields of media, journalism, writing, travel blogging. I've recently just seen 2 3 charts, right? So travel blogging, people who travel and then write about it. So creative talents could come, so they are able to use their mind very creatively towards their work, and they have the required persistence to carry on with their work as well. This also shows somebody who could be since I mentioned communication and all, could also show somebody who's working for the telecom sector or working related to work connects to internet. You could be working with a firm which provides internet service, or which has something to do with connectivity overall, bringing everybody together. So all of us use the internet, but we are users. Somebody who's behind the scenes, somebody who's working in a firm which is working in this space. right? So these kind of service providers could also be seen to be having this placement, right? So as long as you're ready to put in that hard work and persevere through, this is a good placement to have, because it shows growth depending on the overall level of the chart, overall quality of the chart. It shows growth will come, but it totally depends on you how you're going to put in, how, what kind of hard work are you ready to put in. Then the 10th lord in the 4th house. When the 10th lord goes to the 4th house, it has gone 7 places from itself, it has gone right opposite its own house, and from there it's going to be aspecting the 10th house as well. Shows that you could be working, your profession could be connected to the 4th house matters. You could be working in real estate, property, construction, constructed buildings, sale and purchase of constructed buildings, real estate, dealing with land matters, right? You could be working out of home also, so you work from home, you have a home office from where you work. Could also show somebody who's dealing with conveyances. So here it depends on the planet which is getting connected. So for conveyances and all, we'll see Venus. So Venus has to be very prominent. Then in such a case, people deal with cars, conveyances, transport, etc. If it is landed property, if it is built up houses, then again it could be Venus, it could be Mars also. If it is open agricultural land, it could be Mars and Saturn. So you have a connection with land, right? So that is how it gets connected over here. You could also have very strong influence by your mother. So your mother is a very strong influencer in your life, in your choice of profession. She might be very instrumental in settling you up in your profession. She may be the guiding force as well, right? So sometimes it also happens that people take up their mother's careers. So if their mother is a doctor, they follow through, they'll also pursue the medical profession. Also shows a profession related to education sector, somewhere where you connect with a lot of people on a daily basis, also could be seen from here, right? Then the 10th lord in the 5th house. When the 10th lord goes to the 5th house, it shows that it has gone 8 places from itself. 5th house is also a trine, also a trikona, but it also shows that a kendra lord has made a connection with the trikona bhava. So there's a Rajyog also. Whenever a Kendra and a trine make a connection, a Rajyog gets formed. Whether again depends what is the level, how many more connections are being there, are being formed, what kind of nakshatras are involved, how are these planets placed, what kind of degrees. So there are various other things as well. But if we see broadly, it shows these two houses are connected. Here, somebody could be in the field of speculation, could be in the stock markets, somewhere where speculation or guesswork, guesstimating is required. Now, it seems guessing or guesstimating to us, but there's a lot of research behind it. So people who deal with the stock market, people who are dealing with stocks also are, their decisions are also backed with a lot of research, with a lot of trends as well. So that is also a separate area of study altogether. So here somebody who's able to use his mind very well in a very short span of time, the reaction time, or the time they take to react to any situation is pretty fast. So they can take decisions very quickly because they have the wherewithal, they have the necessary knowledge already. So they are able to take very quick decisions at workplace, which really helps them out. So it helps them. They are known for somebody who can be very decisive, who can take decisions very quickly, who can use his you can apply his mind quickly in a crisis situation also. Quick thinkers. Now, the professions could be connected to finance, as I said, Creative fields can come in. Fifth house is again a higher note of the third house. So creative fields, expression, artistic expression. You could be in the field of counseling, or you could be an advisory to somebody, advisor to some organization. So you have your profession is such where you are a subject matter expert, or you are a I would say a sole contributor. You are able to contribute in an advisory capability. So slowly and gradually, depending on how the other yogas are also working out, this person becomes a subject matter expert in due time. People look up to this person, right? So counseling, guiding, all these things will come here in this particular placement. Also shows that you have a connection with children in your profession. So again, schools, colleges, education sector is also majorly indicated here. So here there are a lot of options when the 10th lord comes to the 5th, because depends on the 5th house. If the 5th house is strong, that means you have a sharp intellect. You can actually tackle a lot of things together as well. Then 10th lord in the 6th house. When the 10th lord comes to the 6th house, it has come to a trine from itself, 9 places. And this is also an Artha Bhava, the 6th house. It is also an Upche Bhava, growth house. Right? So when the 10th lord comes here, it shows that your karma is related to giving service to others, serving others, healing others, doing seva. So either you are employed somewhere, so you are serving others, right? Or you're connected with the medical profession. You're connected with organizations who are helping others. You could be connected with NGOs, etc. as well. That again depends on the quality of the 6th house, what kind of other placements are there. Also shows that you're very hardworking. 10th house will get a boost when the 10th lord comes to the 6th. It sits here and supports the 10th house. So all the efforts which you do, all the hard work which you do, your daily routine is supportive of it. That means you have a good daily routine. And even if you don't have it, if you manage a good strict regime every day, you're very disciplined in your daily schedule, your growth will happen. You'll start growing in life, materialistically, financially as well. Right? Sometimes it also shows slow growth. So it takes time. 10th lord goes to the 6th house. It takes time to grow, because it's a difficult house. It's a trik bhava also. But it happens, it happens over a period of time. So always have that attitude of seva or serving others. That is very essential. 6th house is also the house of our prarabdha karmas. So while you serve others, lot of your karmas are also getting nullified. You're building up the bank of good karmas also, right? So for this placement, the right attitude is highly required. Then the 10th lord in the 7th house. When the 10th lord goes to the 7th house, it goes to another Kendra Bhava, and it has gone to a higher note from itself. So as per the Bhavat Bhavam, it has gone 10 places from itself. So higher note of the 10th house is the 7th house. Here, this shows that you like to do your work independently. You're more of an independent thinker. At some point in time in life, you might like to do your own work. So you want to be your own boss because you're an independent thinker. Sometimes it becomes very difficult for people to take orders when they're working in any organization, because they are not very subservient, right? So they have their own thoughts, they have their own ideas, depending on what kind of maturity they have, what are they thinking at that point in time, but they want to have things their own way, right? So here it's better that they do something independently or they do something in partnership. Also, it could show that your profession improves after you get married. So as soon as a partner steps in, seventh house is also the brighter half of the horoscope. So as soon as your partner steps in, a lot of things start changing for you. Your profession also undergoes a change. You as a person undergo a lot of change. Depends on the planet which is involved over here as well, right? So it is a good placement to have, provided you are a little receptive to other people, because for your work you will have to maintain relationships with other people, you will have to interact with a lot of other people, and that will become a part and parcel of your life. So for some people this also shows a profession in public relations, public dealings, event managements, right? Or a lot of public dealing on a day-to-day basis. So they meet new people, unique new people every day. So a lot of interaction with other people. They also enjoy a lot of support from their partner's side. So that is again a good part of this particular placement of the 10th lord in the 7th house. Now we'll move on to the next placement, 10th lord in the 8th house. When the 10th lord comes to the 8th house, it has gone from uh, from itself, it has taken the 11th house, so it has gone to a labsthana from itself, right? Here it could show that though you may progress in your profession, but there'll be a lots of ups and downs will have to be seen. 8th house is the house of transformation, of obstacles, of suddenness, unexpected events. So sometimes you could be switching jobs unexpectedly, unforeseen events happen in your life and you've got to change over jobs. Sometimes the organization which you're working for fires you or lets go of you. You have to take up VRS for some matter. Organizations close up, they get sold out, they're laying off people. These kind of things also happen if you're in a job, if you are working for some organization. Sudden transformations at workplace, so it could be something positive also. Some merger happens and you get absorbed, you are one of the employees who benefits from this, so you get a good raise, you get a better position. So unexpected, good or bad, that depends. Unexpected things can happen in your work area, in your profession as such. This also shows somebody who is interested or who is working in the field of research, of occult, archaeology, all these things. Somebody who's a psychologist, psychotherapist. So these combinations can also be seen. Usually I've seen that these people having this placement of 10th lord in the 8th house have to maintain a lot of secrecy at work. So if you're a whatever profession you are in, you have to maintain, you have to deal with a lot of secrecy, right? So this is how this energy plays out as well. Then this is not a very good combination for uh, following certain professions, like where you have to be really consistent, where you have to a government job for that matter, where you have to follow a routine, where you have to be very disciplined. Sometimes such people face issues over there. So displeasure from seniors, displeasure from the organizations, depending on other things, those things can also play out in their lifetimes. Then the 10th lord in the 9th house. When the 10th lord comes to the 9th house, it shows that it has gone 12 places from itself, 12th from itself. Though there is a connection of a Kendra and a Trikona over here also. But sometimes these people could just be too easygoing, right? Just be too trusting on the scheme of things. Okay, whatever happens, we'll see the way things go, we'll see how life unfolds. So they could be pretty laid back. There could be too much of faith in the way things are going to play out for them. They could be relying too much on the powers of the universe, not ready to make their own efforts, right? So whatever you do, you have to put in your hard work, you have to put in your end of the deal, you have to hold up. Only then the universe also blesses you. Only then some divine grace also comes to you. So here there could be too much of too much of a laid back attitude. There could also be a lot of dependence on their father. They might try to adopt their father's approach to the way things are being done. So the way they work is, they like to take their father's model as such. Father could be a role model. Such people also get the seniors' favors also. 10th house shows your boss, shows your senior, the higher up authority in your organization. And when it goes to the ninth house, there could be generally a good relationship with their seniors. So somehow things work out in their favor in spite of their laid back attitude. But the key is not to be too laid back, not to be too easygoing, to make their own efforts also. This could also show a profession which makes you travel a lot. So you could be in the airline industry, you could be traveling quite a bit, you could be, employed in some institution, educational institution also. You could have something to do with religious studies, right? So such interest could also be there. This also shows sometimes people who are working in the law and order space, right? So that for that you have to see other combinations. You have to see whether a government job or a government profession is also indicated or not. So these kind of things can play out. Also shows that they, for following up their religious pursuits, going to faraway places, they want to take up any pilgrims, they want to visit any holy places, they go a long distance for doing all their religious pursuits. Also makes a person very god fearing. So 10th lord in the 10th house itself. Now this placement shows that the planet concerned is sitting in its own sign, that too in a kendra bhava, kendra sthan. So basically it becomes a benefit for you, benefit for the lagna. Its job is to support you. Its job is to support in whatever you are doing, whatever your endeavor is. Again, shows somebody who's an independent thinker, who's very sound professionally. So, whatever is the area of work, whatever is their choice of profession, they are very sound. People look up to this person. When they need any advice or any complex matter comes up, this person is consulted. Also, this native could carry a lot of responsibilities on their shoulder. It's a upche bhava. And especially if this particular planet sitting in the 10th house in its own Rashi is a malefic, then it shows a lot of urge to grow, to accomplish a lot. Malefics will make the native work towards their goal and be very hardworking, be very pushy in their endeavors. While on the other hand, if it's a benefic, then it can make a person a little laid back and a little softer in his approach. Right? So in a way, malefics will do very well over here. Depending on the planet here, it also will show the kind of work environment you have. What kind of work environment you have, what kind of people do you deal with every day will also be seen. Also shows the presence of a very strong senior, a very strong boss. So that boss could also be your mentor, somebody who's a very strong guiding figure in your life. So all in all, 10th lord in the 10th house is a pretty good placement, and it's a wonderful energy. This person does not remain idle, will always be busy in doing something or the other. Very industrious, very hardworking, will constantly think of new ideas to do wealth generation, to improve himself, herself, to improve their personality. But on the other side, it could also show somebody who could be a little arrogant, or some amount of high-headedness can also come in this person because they think that they are too good, right? So this kind of thing again will happen when there are a lot of other afflictions, when the moon is afflicted and other things. But generally this indication can also be there with this placement. Then the 10th lord in the 11th house. The 10th lord going to the 11th house forms a connection with the love bhav, with the house of gains, with the house of desire fulfillment. It has gone ahead of itself, one house ahead of itself as well. So it shows that all the effort, all the karma which you generate translates into gains. You know what to work on, you know what will finally work out for you. So you have a good understanding of your gains. You know what you have to do, what kind of effort you need to do to achieve what you want. Shows a very ambitious person. And whatever profession they are in, they know how to make it profitable. So any native with this particular placement knows how to turn around the business, knows how to change things, make things profitable, right? Also, it is good for people who are in the finance sector, who are working with banks or working with financial institutions, etc. So they are also able to manage things very well, in the financial area. Your elder siblings could be very helpful in your profession, or you could follow in the same in the steps of your elder sibling also, right? So you take your elder sibling as a role model also. Sometimes you want to be like them, you want to do your karma like they do. So overall, a good placement for these people. Large teams are easy to manage. They are able to manage big teams, they are able to manage big organizations, and they're very futuristic in their thinking as well. Then the 10th lord in the 12th house. 10th lord, when it goes to the 12th house, it makes a connection with the Trik Bhava, and it has gone three places from itself. So it becomes a little difficult placement, especially with the 12th lord being a Trik Bhava as well. Right? So here there could be difficulty in choosing the profession which you want to pursue. So sometimes there's a lot of confusion, there's a lot of scattered thinking. You're unable to decide what to choose, what kind of professions to take up, what kind of karma to do. So sometimes, even on a daily basis, these people can be very confused about decision making, about what to do, what not to do. Prioritizing can be a problem. Managing things in the profession can also become too much of an effort. Difficulties keep coming up. You have to do maybe extra 25-30% compared to others, so you have to put in more hard work. Sometimes it is also seen that these people have to travel a lot to reach their area of work. So every day's good amount of your time goes in traveling, goes in reaching your workplace and coming back home. It also shows a connection with faraway lands, foreign elements are involved. You could be working with a multinational firm. You could be working also in places like hospitals or places of confinement, retreats, getaways. So your profession could be connected to these things as well. You could also take up adventure activities as part of your profession. So roaming around, dealing with foreign things, these kind of things can really play up in your profession as well, right? So sometimes I've also seen people doing a lot of charity related work. So they are into a lot of charitable organizations. They indulge in a lot of seva. They want to spend their time, spend their physical effort doing seva of others, and it really works wonders for this energy. I've also seen that, right? So social service, selfless service should actually be an important part of their lives, right? So that was all about the 10th house lord's placement in various bhavas, various houses in our birth chart. um, this analysis will resonate with a few things, quite a few things in your birth chart. Of course, it cannot cover all the things in a birth chart. For that, one needs to spend time on a horoscope and obviously consider other parts, the signs, the rashis, the nakshatras, everything else also. This was a basic purview of how the house lord placement affects your chart, affects your life. Right, so that was all about it in this video. I'll see you very soon in the next video, wherein I'll talk about the 11th lord's placement as well. So till then, take care and goodbye.